Okay. So before starting the session, let me explain you like how you can engage with the students and how you can complete the syllabus within a 6 hours. Okay. So that is a task which is given to us. So the first thing is so we need to explain the students regarding the PPT. Okay, that will be the first step. So whatever is in the PPT, so when you go through the PPT, first we can see the objectives. Okay, and then later on, so after some slides, you will be having a lab exercise. So first is PPT. You need to explain what are the things in the PPT. Just explain to the students and the lab activities. You can complete the lab activity because it is a foundation only. So you can complete a lab exercise easily. So example. So this is a lab exercise which we need to explain to the students. And the second thing is a self-paced. Self-paced exercise is nothing but once we complete the lab exercise and the PPT session. So once it is get over, we can tell the students to do the self practice exercise. You if you go through the link which is given by Vidhi in the group, so you can see all the things like PPT, lab, and self paced exercise. So once we complete this PPT and the lab, we can ask the students to complete the self paced exercise. Okay. And so after this, I hope what will be conducted in the first day and the last day. So first day will be like can tell you. So day 1 to day 6, right? So day 1 to day 6. In the day 1, so we will be discussing with the students regarding the welcome PPT which is given by us. So you can check it in the group also. So welcome PPT, and next to the welcome PPT, we can start with the first module. So first module is Linux. So as the welcome PPT, you can just take 30 minutes of your time. And then as the students to, if the students are facing any LMS issue or if they didn't register whatever, you can take some time, like 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. And then you can start with the module 1. That is Linux part. So Linux part, I'll tell you so how you can engage with the students. And day 2, you can you can continue with the module 1. So whatever is remaining, okay, so whatever is remaining you can start with a day 2, and then you can go with the module 2. So like this, half of the portion you can complete on daily basis. So because we have totally 6 days, I think, am I right, everyone? So we have 6 days, right, totally.
Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. Then you can consider like half of the day, like you can complete module 1. You can complete till so there are two things are there. One is a normal commands, the another one is shell scripting. You can at least complete the basics of Linux and the commands, and then the next day you can continue with the scripting. Okay, clear. So like this, you can complete the day that is daily activities. So it is very simple only. And one more thing, um, on the final day, on the day 6. So day 6 entirely, the last half you need to focus on the final assessments. Final assessment, the questions is already been prepared by a Tech-Saksham program. So you don't want to prepare any kind of questions. So once you inform us, so we will be, creating the final assessment for the students. So you have to inform Bharati regarding this. So once it confirmed, you can ask the students to complete the final assessment. I think this is for 60 minutes, and some 40 questions will be there. Totally 40 questions will be there. I'm not confirmed with the timings, but totally we'll be having a 40 questions. Okay. So this is the 6th day. So once you complete, if the students are completing the final assessment and the, if the portion is completed, then they will be getting a certification. In the final assessment also, they need to secure at least 60 percentage. If they are not getting it, then they won't get any certificates. Clear? And also in the meanwhile, if you complete the module 1, 2, and 3, whatever the topics, you have a quizzes for all the entire thing. We have created some interview questions for the students. You can also engage with the students regarding the interview questions. So it is also in the repo. Clear? Any doubts as of now? Okay, fine. So if you have any doubts, you can always contact us. Okay, thank you. So let's start with the topic. So today we are going to see about the Linux operating system. So while we are, communicating with the students, you can ask some questions like what is operating system, what is Linux, and what is kernel, and what are the different commands they have, they know already, like what is, shell scripting. So these are the questions you can ask. So this is the objective of this first module. And the next one is this is a scenario like you can just showcase this image to the students and you can ask what is the uniqueness which is behind this image. So anyone knows? I'm just asking you only. Okay, so everything it is using a operating, that is operating system is used, right? So here we are using a Linux operating system. So just theory alone, you just work on it. So what is operating system and what is called operating system management task. So if you want a clarification also, you can just check your notes. So the notes will be given here. Clear? So this is and all the main just about the definition and the description of it. So now we can get it into a Linux. So if you want, I can just tell you what is OS. So operating system acts as an interface between a computer hardware component and the user. So OS, we have a different OS we have, right? So mostly if you check with the students will be having a Windows OS, but they are not aware of the other Linux or Linux distributions. So that's why we have included this particular topic in this module. So these are the tasks which is handled, that a task will be, conducted in the operating system like process management, memory management, device, file management, storage management. So that you can explain it using this notes. You can just give a description of it. So what is called process management? So involves putting a task in order. So like that, you can just give an engagement with the students. And then a basic of working with a Linux operating system. So there are, types of operating systems we have like desktop, mobile, and embedded operating system, real-time operating system, mainframe, a special purpose operating system, server operating system. There are different, operating systems we have. So there are multiple examples we can tell the students regarding this. If example, if it is going to be a desktop operating system, the first one is like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And the mobile operating system is Android, iOS. For server operating system, we have something we are, they are using Linux OS and Windows Server. And embedded operating system, RTOS and embedded Linux, and real time operating system. So for each and everything, you can give simple example on a real time basis, and then you can give some description of it. So now we will get into a Linux. So what is a Linux OS? Actually, this is a free and open source. Okay, so we don't want to pay anything, and it behaves like a Unix-like operating system. First, anyone knows which comes first, Linux or Unix? So which will be the first
Linux.
OS? Linux. Okay. Yes, that is Unix. So Unix is the first OS. Okay, so that from that only they have created this Linux OS. And this Linux was, conceived and created in 1991 by Linus Torvalds for his i386 based PC. Okay, and the Linux was adapted as a kernel for the GNU operating system, which was created as a free replacement for the Unix. So these are some features of Linux. So whatever we know, so which come first, and you can also give some comparison between a Linux and Unix. So you can give some Unix. I think it is not free of cost. We need to pay for it, and Linux it's free. Okay, and Unix the features is like it's a Unix like kernels and it's open source and preemptive multitasking we can do and portable and security. Linux architecture. So here I just want to explain you. So what is a kernel and shell? So any idea like what is kernel and shell? Can anyone tell me like what is kernel and what is shell?
The kernel is the core, very closer to the hardware part,
Okay.
written
Okay.
in C,
So
I guess.
okay, thank you, Vignesh. So example, I have a hardwares and I have a software. Okay, but I don't know how to interact with them. So I know this hardware and my application has to communicate. So I don't know how it's going to communicate. Am I right? So the kernel is it's a core component of this Linux. So it is going to decide or it is going to make an interaction between this hardware and the software. Okay, so that is kernel is the main hero of software and hardware. Yes, exactly, sir, Morgan. So so this is called as a kernel. Okay, and this is a part of this Linux architecture. And what is called shell? Any guesses? What is shell? So later we will understand so how we are going to perform things. So we need to just explain the students regarding the basic concepts. Okay. Yes, what is shell? Okay. So let me tell you. I have my
Interactive
application.
user interface.
Yes, exactly. So it is a user interface. Example, I have a system and I have an application. Okay. So user and the application is there. So how you are going to communicate? You're going to give some command. Okay. By that the system will react to it and it will give the output, right? So this is how the process will be working. So that command line interpreter or user interface, it is called as a shell scripting interactive user interface to communicate with a commands. Is clear? So about what is shell and what is kernel. In a shell, so we have a lot of different shells types we have. So later in the slides we can come to know. Okay, and now these are the history of Linux. So how it has been started and how it is going. So it is a basic history of it. You can just explain the students. So from which year to which year, so it has been developed and what are the improvements they have given. And Linux distributions. So Linux we know. So what is called distributions? In the distribution, in the sense we have different distributions. Example, if you take about a Ubuntu. So how the Ubuntu and Debian. So what is the difference? Like what is the difference between Ubuntu and Debian? So most of the developers are using this Ubuntu now, right? Because if you work with Ubuntu, you will you don't have an interest to work with Windows soft OS. Why? Because that much it is so flexible and it is user friendly. That is the first thing. The Ubuntu are user friendly. And Debian is nothing but it is a community driven. If you are example, you are trying to create some softwares or if you are trying to do some different, create some different version, then you can go with a Debian and Fedora. So Fedora also the another Linux distribution and Kali and Arch Linux. So Kali, it is this Linux is exactly for the cyber security part. So if you are going to work with cyber security, then you can use this Kali Linux. Yes, and Arch Linux and Raspberry Pi OS. Uh, Morgan, sir, actually your voice is not audible. We're trying to say something.
Yeah, I was saying regarding the Kali Linux, which can be used for
Ah,
security purpose.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's why mostly it is used in cyber security. Okay. And for Raspberry Pi OS, so it is also one of the Linux distribution. You can just give some example for each and every distribution, so that it will be useful for the students. They can understand so why they are learning about it.
Can you explain about the Debian? How students should know this? In what constant of
Actually, this Debian, we can say it's a community driven. Community driven in the sense, for example, it is not going to be that much user friendly. Okay, so if someone is advanced user who's not familiar with something, who's not good in a Linux platform, they don't want to go with Debian because Debian is somewhat advanced. So advanced user can go with that. If they are trying to create some new application or new version of any particular softwares or whatever the thing, they can go with this Debian.
any products are there? Any which are used by this Debian where it is
Um,
installed?
yes, I'm not sure about it. So, but it is a scenario which we can see. Okay.
1993. Okay, I'll check it. Okay,
Okay, fine.
no issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll check it. I'll check it.
Sure. And next is installing the Linux on virtual box. For this one, I have already installed on my PC. If anyone is new, that is, you didn't use a virtual box, can anyone share your screen so that I can guide you? So it will be easy to understand for everyone.
I will share what we should do now.
So actually, we are, trying to download the virtual box and Ubuntu on your PC. So we need some memory space, which is free in local drive, C drive.
Okay, okay. Tell me now what we have to search.
Okay, let me tell you the steps. And also I will share the 1 minute.
Link you are going to share. Huh?
Yes, yes. You need to download the link. 1 minute, Chandika Mohan sir. Could you please stop your screen? I will just explain. So what is the basics and then we'll move on. Okay.
All good.
Thank you. So this is a lab one exercise. Okay. So we are going to download and install the virtual box and UN desktop OS. We are not so in the real time everyone can't use a Windows and Linux, right? So instead of that, we have a lot of opportunities like we can install the virtual OS on the cloud and we can also do it on the system. So now we are trying to install the virtual box on our system. Okay, so what are the prerequisites which we need to follow? So first is, okay, so just we need to check whether the virtualization technology. So let's get into the command prompt systeminfo.exe. So it is loading this. Here you can see the VM monitor, that is virtualization enabled in a firmware, and the VM monitor mode is extension is yes. So you need to check whether it is in the S. If not, then you need to boot the system. Okay, so once you boot the system, you need to change some settings. Let me show you. So while you are booting the system, you need to use this keys escapes or F2 or F10 or F12. So mostly it will be in an enabled status. If it is not, then we can follow this. Okay. So in the option, you need to go to the system configuration tab in the boot and under the virtualization technology, you can just click on. So if it is in disabled, so you have to change it to enabled. Okay, clear? So this is the first step we need to follow. And then, so this is the link. So here is a link. Okay, so let me share this link to everyone. You can also follow the same steps. Okay, here you need to click on Windows host. So now you can share your screen, sir. Thank you. Please. Chandika Mohan.
Yeah, I'm doing. Just give me a couple of.
Yeah, sure. I hope still, sorry, till this you guys are aware about what we can do. Yes or no? Any doubts from everyone? Anyone?
No doubt.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
So,
So now just go to the Windows host. I think it is in the S only, so we can start. Yeah. Windows host. So once you click on that, it is downloading the file, right?
no, just give me one knowledge. Why we require VirtualBox? What is the need of it?
So actually, the virtual box, let's consider a simple example. I have a box. Okay, I'm just going to put some elements inside it. So like that, I have a virtual box. So that is like a box. Okay, inside that, I'm just going to put a Ubuntu OS. So that is a task. Clear?
No, actually, my question is simple.
Okay.
Uh, why can't we do in our uh, Windows, right? Why we require VirtualBox only?
So actually, so this is the activity which is given here for the students. So just to get a real-time experience. We can also install OS directly, a Linux OS, but we are not preferring it. So we are just going with a virtual box.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just,
should I?
yeah, double click on it. So what it is showing? Needs a Microsoft's packages install. Please install, reinstall the virtual boxes.
Oracle VM VirtualBox.
Yes, 7.0.1. Is it working for anyone else?
So I think for this, we need to install this C++201019,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
MSI.
We need to install it
Uh,
from as like a software from online,
yes.
so we can troubleshoot this later, sir. So as of now, if anyone is having, or you're able to do it, please share your screen. Chandika Mogan, sir, we'll just troubleshoot it later. Okay,
Okay. So
I
meanwhile,
can
I can
help you
put
with that.
this Microsoft Visual C++ 2019 download.
Yes,
Okay. Cool.
that's a package. Yeah. Is Vignesh, Karan, anyone can share your screen so we can start with. Is it working for you?
Can I share the screen?
Yes, please. They've already installed. I think you have already installed everything.
Yes, already installed.
I want the person who doesn't install. What about Vignesh, Karan? Anyone?
Yeah, just downloading it.
How much time it will take?
So it will take very less amount of time. So it will not take that much time. So maximum for a Ubuntu iOS only, it will take time to download. So otherwise, for the virtual machine, it will take just within a 5 minutes, it will get downloaded.
So I'm also getting the same error like you need a Microsoft
Okay, okay.
Visual.
Then I can resolve this here. Yeah. So let's check.
So shall I share my screen?
Yeah. So latest software supported downloaded. 1 minute. Let me check it from my screen.
So shall I go for this second link?
Yes, 1 minute. Yes, yes, you can go. 2019. Yeah.
This third party, I guess. Okay. So here, should I go for this one?
Ah,
.exe?
1 minute. Give me a minute. I'll let me share you the link 1 second.
Yeah, please share. Because this is something third party, I guess. So it's not coming to Microsoft. Yeah, Uma, share your screen, Umesh.
Yes, 1 minute.
And do we think we need to do the same thing in the labs also? Because already colleges will be having different setup, right?
Uh, yes, actually, we do actually. The thing is, we are going to present it in the session, right? So we are not sure whether the students are everyone is going to have the that is laptop.
No, no, a laptop it's okay, but when we generally they have to sit in the labs, right? So in the labs they will be using as
If
per
they are
the
using, if it is already installed with the Linux, then not a problem. We can go with that. If that is not a case, then we can ask the students to install VirtualBox.
okay.
Okay.
So if Linux is there, there's no need of VirtualBox and other thing, right?
Yes, no need. But you
And
can share the steps with the students if they are not
other
aware.
thing like we are using the Ubuntu and they are using the Linux interface with the commands will be different or same the interface. The next upcoming presentations.
It will be same only, not that much different. So Linux commands are same only for Linux distributions.
Okay, fine.
1 minute, I'm just sharing the link. Okay, got it.
Uh, Umam, one more thing, like in the lab one, the heading is different. Installing
Okay.
Linux on VirtualBox.
Linux on VirtualBox. Okay.
Uh, just check the PPT once. I think you have shown.
Installing Linux on VirtualBox. Yeah. Okay, I have shared that link. You just click on that link and download it on your system. So once you downloaded and installed it on the system, you can restart your PC. You have to restart your PC. Yeah, just agree. You click on it. So now just try to install that virtual box. It is already there, I think. Just click on virtual box. For anyone, is it working? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Uma.
Yes, you
Okay,
are
okay,
audible.
thank you. I think Chandika Mogan sir screen was stuck. Is it working for Vignesh? Is it working? Vignesh and Jay.
I just started downloading that. I mean, it started installing. So once install, only I have to restart and I have to check.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yes, Uma, actually working. Yesterday only I installed. So
Okay, great, great. Yes, Mogan, is it working?
I have to check now. Just give me one. Yeah. So tell me, what should I open now?
Now go to the downloads and double click on that virtual box again. I think it is
It is
already downloaded, right?
installed. It is installed already.
Hmm.
So virtual box, this one.
So where it is? Yes, that one. Yeah. So yes, click on OK. So the next steps will be like we need to download the Ubuntu. So before that, so I
Can you
hope everyone
can
is
you
on the
help
same
out?
page.
Can you help us in this understand this interface? What it says?
Yes, yes. So actually, this is to turn off and turn on the, our whatever the OS we are installing. So that is why we are having this powered off. And this is to
Okay.
start button is to start the, OS. So whatever the OS, so OS will be, showing in the left hand side in this part.
Okay.
Okay. And here we have a settings options and here we have a new option. And first,
Okay.
just and next to that, so this is just to customize the thing. You can just
Oh, got it.
customize
Got it.
and
Got it. Got it. So we can shift the operating system over here, right?
yes, yes, exactly.
So now, okay, understood. Red Hat. Okay, understood. Okay, settings. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So next.
Next is like this is a system and this is display and storage, audio and everything is there. And now we need to download Ubuntu. So let me share the version so which you need to download on your system. So Ubuntu 22.04. So this version. So just the first one. Download Ubuntu desktop. Now come down and click on this one, download
This one.
22.0. Yeah. So it has started downloading. So it will take some time to download. So we'll wait.
Okay, 31 minutes.
So it is
26.
taking 30 minutes.
No. It's coming now. Because mine is 8 GB. It's 16 GB. So fast.
But
Anyway,
this will take some time.
yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead. Next one.
Vignesh, it is installed. Okay. Okay, the next step is once it is downloaded, then we need to start the process. We need to, um, just we need to set the path in the virtual box.
Okay.
Okay.
Once I down, I'll tell them information.
Okay, fine.
So meanwhile, others can who have been installed, they can support us.
What is the timing it is showing on the screen?
It's showing around 9 and 8 minutes.
Okay. In the meanwhile, we can discuss about the file structures. Okay. Can we? Okay, let's see about the file structures. So this is about what is Linux kernel, these and all theories, and what is Linux file structures. So why we need it and what it is? Any idea? File structure. So actually this file structure is a hierarchical file system, that, starts from the root directory. So root directory you can identify from the slash. So by this you can identify the root directory. Okay. So here we have a different, the structures, file structures are followed. So let's discuss about some, file structures here. So first I will go with a bin. So, so you might have come across many times like what is bin. So bin is, so let's say I'm using my virtual box.
So we have all the steps in any recorded any file?
Yes, actually that has been shared in the group. So if you want, I can reshare it today. Okay. Actually, this is the user interface. Okay, the command which we are going to give here. So let me get into the terminal. So this is the terminal which we are going to use. So now we were talking about this bin. Okay, bin is nothing but it's a system libraries. So it is required for the if something happened. So we need to get the system recoveries and maintenance, right? So for that purpose, we are using this executable one. So bin ls. Sorry. Okay, so it shows all the the binary system binaries which is required for the things. And next is called as etc. The next is etc. So etc. means example, something, I want to store in the system and the system wide configurations, files and shell scripts. If example, I'll give you some example, etc. This is the directory, the file structure. That's why we are using this slash. And next to that, in etc., I want to check about the network. Okay, in the network, what particular thing you're going to check. So like this, you can search it off. So this, stores the system-wide configuration files and shell scripts. And next one is home. So this is the home is nothing but we can get the details of one particular, that is individual users information that is stored. We can fetch those details. And then lib. Lib means library. So in the library, we have lot of files will be there. So here, the shared libraries needed by the system programs. Example, if I need the program details about the C program, then I will be giving a libc. Okay. And then, what else we have? So we have something called as user, USR. So what is user? So user means a unique system resource. So this actually, if example, in a user that is a unique system resource, I want to find some, Firefox browser executable files, which is contained. So then I can go to the user and bin and the Firefox, so that I can get all the executable files which is there in a user. And variables. So what is this? So this, actually holds a variable data such as logs or the databases or temporary files, whatever you want to see. So that, that it just, holds the variable data. So that is about this variable. So here in the variable, I just want to look into the log of system logs. Like this, we can navigate. And next to this, a temp. So temporary, we already know, like in everyone is using a system. So always there will be some temporary files which is running at the background. So if you want to, store the temporary files, or you are trying to accessible the temporary files from all the user, then you can use this temp. Okay. So this actually stores the temp files accessible by all users. And then what is called as dev. So dev is nothing but it is known as a devices. So devices means it contains a device file that is, representing the hardware devices. Okay. So it contains a device file representing hardware devices. And then pros. So pros means nothing but it is called as a processes. So processes means running the processes and system status. The last one we can see about SBIN. So SBIN is nothing but a system binary. System binary means it contains the essential system binaries used for the system administrators. Okay, so let's see. Contains essential system binaries used for a system administrator. So the path we can give like SBIN. And if I'm trying to reboot the binary to reboot the system, then I will be going like this. So this is the path for it. Everyone clear till this? So it is installed or it is downloaded on your PC, sir?
It will
Chandika
take
Mobile.
another 2 minutes.
It will take another 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, then
Almost.
I can show some example on my PC. Then we can
Yeah.
continue.
Okay. Okay. We have done. Let me open. Let me share the screen.
Okay, fine.
You're able to see the screen?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Next, install.
Yes, yes. Just go to the virtual box.
Here.
So it is
Other
already
one.
open here. Yeah, in the task. Yeah. Here, just click on start. Sorry. And also I can share you one link. Okay, you can also refer it for a future purpose. It is also in the lab exercise also. You can just refer it.
So here CentOS means it's a Linux, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you need to go back. Just close this. You need to click on new button. I have given the steps also in
They
the.
close it.
Yes, you can close it. So you have selected the right one. So we need to click on new. Just click OK. Yeah, just click on new.
No.
So once you click on new, what is the screen? So it is asking
Name.
for the name, operating system name. So
Yes,
you
yes.
can skip, or you can just give a name of your virtual machine, whatever. It is going to be Ubuntu. You can give Ubuntu or whatever. Yes, Morgan. And click on.
Okay, path is everything
So
okay?
it is asking for a path. No, right?
Okay. So now it's asking for size. 2 GB it
So
is
wait a
asking.
minute. Just okay. It is okay only 2048. Just go next. Click on next and create virtual hard disk now. Yes.
Which option? Disk image or hard disk or machine disk?
Yes, this is the first one. So, but still now it is not asking for the folder. Okay, just go next. Here. Okay, fine.
It's already created.
Create.
So 32 GB it's asking. Okay.
You can give 32 or you can minimize to 25 like that. So whatever, 25 GB. Or just if it's okay for you, then you can click on create.
It will be in C drive, right? Okay. Let me
Yes,
uh,
it is in C drive.
give me 1 minute. Let me check. It's 19 GBs left.
Okay.
Can we change the location path?
Yes, you can change the location, but
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Okay then.
So now it is done, right? So
And
now,
the installation we have done in C drive, and now we are putting the path in the D drive. It's okay.
So where it is mentioned in C drive?
Because we have done this all this installation in C drive, and now we are giving the path for this operating system in D drive.
Okay. So
Because
let's try. If not, then we can change it off. Okay.
okay, because we are creating the operating system in D drive, and anyhow we'll
So
see.
the files which is yeah. So let's
Can
see.
we start
Just
now?
click on
Start up.
just click on start.
So it's
What
saying
is
host
that?
drive I.
Host drive. Please select the virtual. So just click on start then. Like,
Oh, it is saying something
the
ejecting
disk
from the
will be ejected from the virtual RAID automatically next time you switch the virtual machine off. But you can also do this useful yourself if needed using the device menu. You don't have any other option from apart from I.
no.
Okay.
If it is there, no. It's
Hmm.
saying optical disk selector. I think optical is different, right? So are we looking from the any pen drive or what? Because iDrive we don't have here.
You're having it in I only, I drive. This PC, DVD, I, Ubuntu.
Okay, I
Okay,
think it
just
is by default it has taken the iDrive. Okay,
um okay.
so but I don't have the iDrive in my laptop. So when we install this Ubuntu, it has created itself iDrive, I guess so.
It's a virtual, right? Okay.
Correct. So
Mm.
let's
So you didn't give anything, but it's automatically working. Okay, starting VM. So is it working for everyone? What about others? Vignesh and Jay, Karan.
It is working for me. Like I started the installation. I've done it
Yes.
before before.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's working for me also.
Great. Okay, Chandika Mogan sir, can we start with a comment? So still it is processing, right? Then once it is done, please let me know. We can continue.
no, I
Okay.
have cancelled it. I have cancelled it.
I've cancelled.
Yeah.
It is not working, I think.
Hmm.
It is
It's
not
not working.
closing. So just wait till the process is complete because it is creating a process for virtual machine. So we'll wait for a while.
Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we'll go with the commands.
Yeah. So if you have any doubts also, you can connect after 11. After completing my session also, I'll be available. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So I've shared this link with you, everyone. You can just refer this link. Okay, let's get into the virtual machine. Okay. So there are, different commands we have for this Linux. So we are just going to have a look into. So what are the different commands we have? Okay. So first is LSA. So LSA means it will show all the commands which is available on the, sorry, which is all the directories and the files which is available on the PC. Okay. And next is ls-l. So it is to okay, this, tell you about what is the type and what data we have and what is the size of it and who's going to be the owner and the permission. So this is called as a permission. So D means nothing but a directory and R means read, W means write, X means execute. Okay. So this is the explanation. And if you see about this one, this is called as a user, that is a owner, and this is a group user, group owner, and this is a size of that particular file. And then time, what is the time and the date which has been created, and the file and the directory names, that is sorry, directory names has been viewed. So next is, if you want to check a most recent file, then you can go with ls-t. Okay, so this is the most recently used file. So the most used recently used file will be displayed first, and the next files will come next to that. Okay, and if you want to see the list of a largest file which is on the system, you can give ls-es. So actually on my system, I have all the file sizes is in the same. So it is showing like this. So you can see the size of files and the folders. And next, if you want to reverse the order, then you can give ls-r to reverse it. And also, if you want to display the for that is folders which is available, example, most recent files at the end, then you can go with -ltr. Okay, so this is showing at the end. The most recent files will show at the end. Clear? And next is called as a cp and pwd. If I want to change my directory, I have a lot of directories on my PC, right? So let me get into a desktop. So it is moving to a desktop. So if I don't want to, I just want to come back to my main directory, then I will give cd. Clear? And a command called pw. So pw is a print working directory. So it shows the current working. So currently I'm working in the home. That is directory is home, and the name of the user is Ubuntu. Okay. And if I want to copy, some command, that is, I want to copy a file from one place to the another, sorry, one file, the source file to the another target file, then I will be going with a cp command. So first I want to create a file. So to create a file, I'll be using cat. Let me give a file name to be, let's say I'm just giving Ubuntu. So I'm giving some data here. So once you're done, you can just click on Control D. Okay, so it will just close the command. Now you can, I'm sorry, I have not created here. Okay, 1 second. Let me create it in the desktop. Cat Ubuntu. So cat is a command to write or to create a file. Okay, that's why we are using it. So I'm just giving hello command and welcome. The next session. Okay, after this, you can give Control D. So now if you go and check, you can see the file which is appearing here. Okay, so here the data will be inside this Ubuntu file. Okay, the next is, so I have a file. I'm going to create one more file. Let's say I'm creating a file called, you can also create a file using a touch command. Okay, that is also possible. So we can create a file like touch, and then I'm giving a name to be Ubuntu A. Okay. So here you can see the Ubuntu A file. So it is not opening. Okay, here I'm just giving some data. Let me give AT session. Okay. So like this, I've given some command. I'm just closing it. So I want to copy the file. Okay, so let's take the source file is going to be. So CP is a copy command and source file is Ubuntu A. Okay, and the target file is Ubuntu. So just copy it. So this is my source file and this is a target file. Let me open the Ubuntu U. Here you can see the data has been changed, right? It has been copied from that Ubuntu A file to the Ubuntu file. Okay, clear? And the next is a move or a remove. So move means nothing but if you're trying to rename the file directory, then you can go with this MV. Okay, so MV is a move. So example, let me, so I already have a file, right? So let me create a old name. So old name is, I'm going to change the name of Ubuntu and new name I'm just giving as TSP. Okay. So now you can see the file name has been changed to TSPAP. Clear? And then so after this, I'm going to create a directory. Then if I want to create a directory, then you have to use the command called make dar and the folder name. Let me give a folder name to be um, so EduNet Foundation is my folder name. So you can see the folder is created as a EduNet Foundation. Okay, clear? And then
Uma,
if yes,
Umaji, uh, you are showing as per the comments, but we are not able to see the screen. Actually, the it's a very
little, it is not
yes, and
okay.
I
Is
hope
it for
others may be
everyone?
familiar with the Ubuntu and Linux, so they may be having awareness on it. But I guess
For you, it is okay. It is a very simple only. So example, once I share the code, okay, I'll be sharing the lab exercise and everything. So which we have it already. Let me also show you. Okay, so all the commands will be in the lab exercise.
okay,
You can just execute and you can see all the everything will be there. Okay, so lab for the Linux exercise, we have some three things. Sorry, four lab exercise will be there. So one is for the installation. The next one is for the command. This lab one, sorry, lab two and lab three, and lab four is for shell scripting. Clear, sir? So if you have any doubts with commands, you can check over there.
okay, fine.
Okay. Okay, next is tail command. So tail command. So for example, I'm creating a file called, let's say, session.txt is my file. Okay, it is just creating a file called stage.txt. Okay, here I'm just giving some inputs. Let me give it as some values. I'm giving some numbers. Just wait a minute. Okay, so these are the numbers which I have given in the state file. Let me close this. So now we will check whether we have a state file. Yes, I have a state file here. So next is I'm going to create one more file. Let me create country. The file name is going to be country, let's say. And here I'm just giving some random names, number, that is characters. Okay, so that's all. So I have created some two files. So I'm going to use a tail command. So tail command is to, get the last 10 lines. So whatever we have given, so in the files I have the numbers from 1 to 28. If I want to fetch some last 10 values, 10 lines output, then I will go with this tail command. So tail, and then I'll be giving a file name. Example, so file name is going to be state. Okay, so it is giving a last 10 lines. Okay, clear? And next is if I want to get the 3 lines alone. Okay, if I want to fetch the lines alone, then I will be going with the state -n 3 state. Okay, so 3 numbers. If I'm giving that to be as a 4, then it will show the last 4 numbers. Clear? And then if I'm trying to get some, the characters, which is in the last 6 characters I want to fetch, then I will go with the command called tail C. So C is character and N means number. Okay. So C, and here I want to get some 6 characters from the state. So actually we are using numbers. So that's why it is showing, that six value with the space. Okay. And if I want to combine these two files, how I can combine the state file and the country file? Again, go with a tail and state and then country. So it is adding the files like this. I don't want to add the files with the quotes. Then I can go with a tail -q state and country. Okay. So without any quotes, it is just showcasing the output. Okay. And what is called as a head. So head means it will show the first 10 lines of the that is first 10 lines of letters or the lines which is in the file. So let me give a first that is head, and then file name. Let me give it as a country. Okay, it is showing the first 10 lines. Okay, and then the same thing which we have done for the tail, you can also follow the same thing for the head command. Clear? Till this, everyone clear about the commands? So these are the some basic commands which we are going to discuss with the students. Okay, next is we'll get into the PPT. So next is the file access rights. Okay, file access right means there is something called as U and G and O. So U means user, that is the owner of the file, and G is a group. So each file has a group attribute corresponding to a given list of user, and others for all others. Apart from the user and apart from the group, others it is mentioned will be mentioned as a O. Okay, and then 3 types of access rights. So access right is for read access, write, and execute rights. So which I've already show you in that example. So let me to the previous, and I was here. This is called as a rights. Okay, so R means read, and W means write, and X means execute. So how we can set this, the command. how we can go with this particular ch mode. So we'll call this as a ch mode. So let me tell you one example. Let's take any one of the file. Okay, so let me take a file, ubuntu or tspa. Okay, so first let me get into the desktop. Ch mode is a mode. We are giving a execution rights to the user. Okay, so I'm giving for the user with the executable. So it should be executable, and the file name is going to be, let's say I'm giving tspab. Okay, so it is accepted for the user with the that is for the execution. We can go with this tspab. We are giving some permission, so that is a called as a right, rights permissions, or a permissions we can give. I hope everyone is clear with till this. So now, so we can get into the shell. So we already discussed what is shell, right? So shell is an environment that takes a commands typed by the user and calls the operating system to run those commands. So this is a process which is following. Okay, we are following. And here, if you see, there are different kinds of shells we have. Okay, but in our foundation course, we are going to discuss about the bash shell. So bash shell means a born again shell. So that is called as a bash expansion. So other shells, we can just tell the students how it is going to be by the explanation. So here you can see the explanation. The Bourne shell, also known as a SH, is available by default on almost all the Unix-like operating system. And this supports only the most limited command line editing. And the C shell, it is similar to the C programming. It is derived, let's say it is derived from the C programming. The commands, everything will be the same thing. Okay, it is designed by the Bill Joy and is also named because much of its syntax parallel to the C programming. And Corn shell. So Corn shell was created by the David Corn, and it offers the same kind of enhancements as a C shell with a and few difference will be there. So that is why that particular shell is called as a Corn shell. So there is some few difference has been added. And Bash offers command line editing like a Corn shell, like a name completion like C shell, and lot of other advanced features in a Linux. That is in the features. In the Bash shell, you can do a lot of things. So what we can do is example. So we can do a programming. We can do create functions and loops, while, and lot of whatever we are doing it in the normal programming, we can do here in the Bash shell also. And T C shell extends traditional. So for each and everything, for all the shells, we have some particular extensions will be there. Okay, so now we will detailedly understand about shell command. So let me explain it in the PPT. Okay, let me insert the text. Okay, first are some important points we need to discuss with the students. For shell, if you are trying to, start with the command, then a dollar symbols will be appearing. Right? Here to accept, it is waiting for the command. That is why the dollar symbol is appearing here. And the next one is, this is your user. The username is Ubuntu. And at host, the host is this. This is the host. Okay, clear? And whatever the directory which you are opening, so this is our root directory. And here our whatever the directory which we are opening, so that will be displayed next to next. Okay, clear? And for that, we are going with this dollar. So it is waiting for a command. And next is called as a hash. So hash is nothing but it's a shell running as a root. It is called as something called as a super user shell. Okay. So when you are saying, so we will say it in the shell command. So at the time I will explain you. So what is called bash script? So what is going to be called as a bash script? So because we are in the there are different shells are there. So in that we are going to discuss about the bash. So now what is bash script? So it is a series of a command written in a file. In a file we are going to write all the commands. Okay, and it will execute. It executes line by line. Clear? So this is a process of a bash script. And how to identify? So now you might have a question like how I can identify the bash script. So we can identify the bash script. So you need to save the file using this extension .sh. Clear? And the first thing is a script also identified with shebang. So what is called shebang? Shebang is nothing but, so bash means this hash, and then bang means exclamatory. Okay, so this is called as a shebang. It is followed by the shell path. So this is the first line you need to. So after saving the file as .sh, the file name and .sh, and then you need to ready with the line called hash and bang. So hash and bang, and next to the hash and bang, you need to add a shell path. Okay. So third step is, so what this shell bang this shell bang shebang, I'm sorry, shebang tells the script to execute it via a bash shell. So that is why we are adding this a bash bang. Clear? So in the coding, you can understand so why we are discussing about this. Okay. So next is in the shebang is simply as an absolute path to just as a to tell the bash interpreter so that we are going to write the code. Okay, so there is something file we need to create. So let me execute it in the system. So first thing is I'm going to create a file. So let me create a file. So touch, and the file name I'm just giving as hello. I've already given hello. Let me give a file name to be virtual.sh. The first step is you need to identify the bash shell using a extension called .sh. So I've created the virtual.sh. So now we can also check which bash it is in which place. So it is to find the path of your bash shell. So that is the next step, right? So what I told you, so here after the hash and bang, you need to add the shell path. So this is the shell path. So now let's get into the examples. I have created this. Let me get into the file. So now we are going to, write the code. So first one is hash and then a bang. Okay, bash and bang. And what is the file path? What is the file path? So this is our file path. Let me copy this, or okay, let me just type it here. user/bin/bash. Okay, so we need to save this file, and after this we can discuss about one by one how we can add the variables and how we can add you know uh, the expressions and how we can perform the arithmetic operation. There are a lot of things we have. So I'll just explain you some examples so you can also just execute the things using a lab exercise. Okay. So first I will go with some simple examples how we can go with this. So let's see. So added slash, right? Slash usr and bin and bash. So next will be echo. The file name I'm just giving as hello world. Okay, so the next step is to execute the file. So how we can execute this file in the bash? So we need to give a permission first. So the permissions we need to set. So let me give first the file name is virtual.sh. So it is showing it is denied. So I'm going to set the mode, ch mode, the change mode. For all the three things, I'm just giving a 7. So 7 means nothing but for read and write for executable. So let me also show you. Here they have didn't give the value. So there is some value for each and everything for read and write. Okay, so totally it is going to be 7. So I'm just mentioning 777 for all the three things. And the file name is going to be a virtual.sh. So now, so you can see the output. So for each and every time you need to give a permission, then you can access the file. Okay. So this is a simple example of how we can work with shell scripting. And next is if I'm going to give some values, let's say. So inside this, I'm giving a simple variable. I'm creating a simple variable. Let's take, I'm creating a and the value is going to be welcome. And then here I'm just giving a name and let's say EduNet. Okay. So this is the info, that is a variable name, and this variable is holding this value. Okay. Echo. I'm just going to print the value here. So to get the value, to fetch the value, we are using a dollar symbol. To get the value of the variable, we need to use a dollar symbol. So I'm using a dollar symbol, and the value is A. And also I want to fetch the value of name. Clear? So now we'll save this file and execute the file again. So now you can see welcome EduNet as an output. Clear? And then, so how we can perform some arithmetic expressions? So arithmetic expressions. So arithmetic expression is, let me give a variable. Okay, so variable. So the expression should be like this. Let me put it in the command. Equals to and dollar symbol, and what is going to be your expression that you should cover like this. Okay, inside this you can give a expression. Let's say I'm giving a value to be some 10 minus 2. Okay, I want to print the output, so I'm just giving as echo and dollar variable. So let's save this. To go and check the value, you can see the value is going to be 8. Okay. So this is for a normal expression. And if you are trying to read some value from the user, then if I'm trying to read a value from the user, then first I want to get the value, right? So enter your name, or let me give it as entered a number. And the read is to get the value. So it will get the value. So that's why we are going for this read command. So read and the variable name. What is the variable name? So let me give it the randomly like A, and echo, enter a number. I'm just getting a number. Again, the second number or the first number, whatever you can give, whatever you want to print it in the for the user side. Okay. And let me give a read to be B. So variable, what is the expression which we are following? Variable, dollar symbol. And the expression is going to be A plus B. And I want to print this out. So echo dollar variable. So let me save this. You execute, you can, it is asking for enter a number. Let me give O and 6. See, the output is 10. Clear? Okay. I think so. I'll showcase you one more example for this. Then we can stop here. Okay. So we have the other languages we need to continue. Clear? So I'll showcase you one more example. Then later I can also share you some link regarding this. You can execute on your system. Clear? So let me do one for loop. Then I'll wind up and Swati will take care of the other, topics. So for loop, I'm just giving for keyword and I in. So for, for loop, we have, I want to print the value from 1 to some 10. Okay, 1 to 10 means, in all the programmings, we'll be using a same keyword as for. But here we are using another one more keyword to combine this, the I variable, the other value is going to be what? The value you need to mention within a curly brace. So here the space is very important. If you are not going to give a space properly, then you won't get a output properly. Then a do keyword and print echo dollar I and then done. Okay, so it is printing from 1 to 5. So you can also execute the other examples on your own. If you have any question, you can just contact to me or our team members. Okay. So that's all from my end. If you have any question, you can contact me later. So I hope, Swati, are you there?
Yes, I'll just be taking over.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Now we'll be starting with the database management system. If you guys need 2 minutes to yourself, you're most welcome to take it, and I can start in, another 2 minutes. All right. All right, everyone. Very good morning. And so in the first module, as explained by Uma Maheshwari, you have completed or you've learned about operating systems. And among operating systems, Linux was the one that you were, getting to know about. All right. So now let's move on ahead and talk about databases. So now in at the end of this particular second module, which is there, You'll be understanding the concepts of DBMS. You'll understand what do we understand by RDBMS. And also we are going to perform practical hands-on experience on the concepts of relational databases. Now, one thing to remember is currently we have very limited time on our hands. So I'll be more focused on doing the practical work, but I'll walk you through the the PPTs which are there and how you need to take it up. I think that is all that we all are aware of. Each PPT that you'll see, there is there are speaker notes. All right. And in speaker notes, you'll find the the related content, to the text which is being laid out in the PPTs. So I want each one of you, as this particular, course has already been shared by you. I hope you guys are going through it, and you might have seen how to lay out your own, training sessions once you are, going to start with your foundations training. If you have any doubt in that, and if you think that you're not aware of how the exercises needs to be discussed, how the self the or the after class exercises needs to be discussed, even any concept that you think that you're not very sure of, please, you are most welcome to reach out to us. All right, so we all are here to help in whatever way we can to deliver the best trainings to the students enrolled with us. Now we all know about what do we understand by database management system. Anyone who can tell me what do you understand by database management system? I hope you guys might have done any kind of database in in the past. Any database that you guys have worked on, Vignesh? Um, have you seen any database?
The database is like storing the data in effective way, and we can retrieve it in systematic
Exactly.
manner. Yeah.
Exactly, very nice. So I think most of us might have worked on RDBMS only, relational database management system. Have you worked on any?
MySQL.
MySQL, very cool. So here also the RDBMS that we'll be seeing is MySQL itself. Okay, so I hope the this particular kitty would become a lot easier for people, those who know MySQL. So I'm taking that you are aware of RDBMS already, because that is the basic DBMS that we've also done back in our own colleges. Then when we've even started working. So not of any, foreign concept, which is, we are going to discuss now. And database management system, in short, we call it DBMS. It's only a software, that is designed to manage and organize data in any structural manner. Okay, it could be a structured or unstructured, which comes later, when we go on and um, delve into the concepts of big data. Then obviously it becomes kind of like in where we have unstructured data coming in, but obviously the DBMS helps you to keep all of that in some or the other structure itself. All right, so it helps you to create, modify, help you to query your database, all the data that have been stored into it, as well as manage the access and security over the database. I mean, like, who is authorized to access what kind of data. That has also been the work of DBMS itself. There are a few, multiple reasons that we see that, tells us why do we need to use databases. This is all theory. Why do you need databases? That it helps you to, manage large amount of data. It helps you to store and manage a large amount of data on a daily basis. Now, suppose you have a system already, running. Our own system, you talk about EMS, you talk about LMS. So we have a database, which helps us to keep track of all the data that we are putting in daily into it. For any trainer related, if you have your own LMS, so that, you have certain number of batches aligned to you. Then in each of the batch, how many students are being enrolled? You are tracking their attendance. How do we keep a track of all this? Where do we store it? So this LMS is definitely kind of aligned to a database. It could be a RDBMS, it could be a non-relational database. Okay, it could even be a cloud-based database. So there are many different kinds of databases which are available and which you can use according to your own needs and requirement. I'm kind of skipping these theory because I think that this is something that you'll be able to do. If you think that this needs to be taken up, so obviously you can let me know. All right. What are the different applications? Where do you see DBMS? It's used entirely everywhere. Even before we had these computers and the concepts of, using softwares, at that time also we were doing data management, right? So if you know from our own government sectors, before they were digitized, before the computers were brought in, they had those file systems. So that is also one way to keep a track of your data, and that is also a part of your database management only, but that is related to your file systems. All right. Now moving to our RDBMS. What do we understand by RDBMS? Relational database management system. What do we understand by relational database management system? Tables. All right. Thank you, Mohan. Jay, do you want to say something?
Yeah, so data is stored in form of tables actually.
Exactly. So all the modern, database management systems which are existing currently, if you talk about MySQL, SQL Server, go ahead into, which is called as your Oracle. Again, your Oracle MySQL is there. IBM DB2 is there. Microsoft Access. Those are all related to RDBMS only. It is called a relational database management system because the data which is stored in it, it is stored in a relational manner. So not only it is related to only table format, but also there is some relation which is being followed among all the tables that are getting stored in that database. Who introduced this RDBMS? Who introduced RDBMS? It was introduced by EF Cod. Okay. It was introduced by EF Cod. Now, what is a table? These are all the terminologies in RDBMS that you need to know about. There is a table, there is a row, column, relation, very important, tuples, attributes, degree, cardinality, and domain. When you talk about tables, so the data that you're feeding into your database, it gets represented into the form or stored in the form of columns and data, columns and rows. Schema is database. Now, schema is not table. When you create a database, that is your schema. That is the structure that you are giving to it later. Then when you talk about row is a combination of all the column values. So suppose in your table, it's like 10. Suppose you have a table, name, a serial number, full name, age. So one row of data like 1, Swati, and suppose let's say 28. So this is entirely one row. It's a combination of column values and it's also called as record or record. Okay. Column is a field, against which you are going to put some data into your table. Relation, that is the relationship between the tables which is existing in your entire database. So you have many kinds of different relations or relationships existing in a database, one to one to many, many to one. Okay, those kinds. So that is a relation. What kind of relation is a, has a, those kinds of relation which exists. Then you have tuples. Tuple is a again a single row which exists in a table, which only contains a single record. So when I say I want the tuple contains only one record, like you're dealing with one record, like serial number one, ID one, sorry, name Swati Yadav, and age, suppose let's say 28. So that's your one tuple. You're talking about a tuple, one single record in it. What are attributes? Any particular one field that you're talking about, that is termed as an attribute. Degree, the relationships, the degree of relationship which exist within your number of entity types, association, that is your degree. Cardinality, the uniqueness of your column in a table, that is your cardinality. We'll discuss about it again. Yes. Domain, so domain means the kind of values that particular attribute in a table can have. So that is a domain. The range of you could say the value or the the values the particular element or entity that particular field can represent. That is your domain. There are different kinds of keys that we are going to discuss about, like when we move on to that, that there is a primary key, there is a unique key, alternate key, candidate key, foreign key, composite key, surrogate key, those different kinds of keys also that we are going to discuss with the help of the lab exercises. All right. Then why do we need keys? Discuss about those, the problems statements on it. Also discuss about, what is the requirement, how one key, differs from the another one. And also show each example, whichever lab exercises are being assigned for the key distribution. So show that particular example for that. Also, this is all part of your schema, part of your theory again. Now to talk about your, now here comes a database schema and your design. So a database schema is exactly a structure, that gives the logical view of the entire database, which helps you to understand what the database looks particular, like, or how the data is being organized into it, how the relations among them are being associated. So that is schema. So it has all the constraints that are to be applied on the data itself, or whatever you've actually applied to your data there. So it's going to contain each and everything, how even your data is spread out, what is the relation existing between different tables, how the relation is set up, which constraints you are using, what kind of keys you have, everything will be part of your schema. So a database schema, it defines its entities and the relationship existing among them. It contains a descriptive detail. So it has a very detailed information of the database, which can be depicted by means of your schema diagram. So then there are schema diagrams that people get into, So that is the part of your database designer's job, who design the schema to help the coders or the developers to understand the database and make it useful for them so that they can work and set up their own database environments. Okay. So DBMS is a broader term. RDBMS is a part of DBMS. Now we come to SQL, which is the structured query language. When you come to structured query language, is it different from RDBMS? What do we understand by SQL? Is it something related to RDBMS? Is it same? What is RDBMS, or is it the same? Where the difference comes in that? So when we talk about structured query language, so here the term comes, which is language itself, and it's a language. Just as we have programming languages, as you seen yesterday, Java as well, you'll go on into JS, Python, those kind of languages which help you to interact with the system, and help build applications and your help you to do the dev work. We have this language which helps us to communicate with the RDBMS and helps to, perform queries on database, the CRUD operations on databases. Okay. It's a programming language for storing and processing information. So it's a language itself which helps you to store and process information in a relational database. Okay. So whether you have a software now you need to interact with a software so that you can work upon with the data that you have. Now to have you should need interface for that. You should need some medium to do the communication over there so that you can handle your data well. That communication is being set up by this SQL language. Okay, it helps you to interact with your RDBMS systems for data manipulation, storing purposes, and retrieval purposes. Now, when we move to MySQL, so MySQL is what? What is MySQL? MySQL is a relational database management system. Okay. So now this is a software that you are going to use. It's a relational database management system that you are going to use. It is free and open source. That means you can use it without, much hassle of paying for it or something. And you can use it for your own projects, even for your small development projects. And even if you're doing any large application development. Okay. These are something which are laid out for the points to understand MySQL better. I mean, like you can use this. It works on different kinds of operating system. All the major operating system you can even work on MySQL. Okay, the distribution works well on that. It's integrated with many languages as well, as you'll see. You can work with the main languages that we are currently working on is Python, Java, JavaScript. So for each one of them, this MySQL works well. Okay. But the only thing to remember over here, whatever kind of data you will be giving to it, need to have a specific schema, and that schema should be set. I mean, like you cannot have a changing schema. The schema cannot be varying. It cannot be. So once you've set, what your database needs to look like, what kind of tables are there, what information needs to go in that, each and every record has to be of the same format. So it cannot be of a different format. If you have that kind of applications where you are not sure of what kind of data is coming, and maybe for in one kind of record, you have an image coming in, and in the another, you have an audio file coming in, right? Then that kind of data is not handled very well by your MySQL, where your schema is not set, where the data is semi-structured or unstructured. If your data is only structured, that each and every record looks exactly the same, there your MySQL works best. All right. In those cases where where your data is not in a consistent manner, there we go for non-relational databases like your NoSQL, CouchDB, okay, those, MongoDB. Okay, so then this SQL also fails at that point. Okay, it does not work or keep data in a table format. Rather, there are different formats. So if you talk about MongoDB, you have a document-based model over there where there are documents, and in each document, there is a collection, and each collection has a document inside it. Okay, there the data can vary. Now, the first lab that you need to discuss with the students is the installation of your DBMS software. And installation involves you to go to the official website of MySQL. Anyone over here who does not have MySQL installed on their systems? Anyone over here who does not have MySQL installed on your system? Okay, Mohan sir, you do not have it, right? All right. So what we can do, because I already have it, so I'm going to share a link with you from that's the official website. You need to demonstrate this in the class as well. So this is the official website of your MySQL. What you can do is you can start sharing your screen, Mohan sir, and we can see from your screen and see how the installation process goes on. Will that work for you, Mohan sir?
Yes, Swati.
Sure. So you are here on the installer, right? So you need to download the community server. We are on the community server itself. Now here you will see the option to choose your operating system and the version. So the version, the latest version, whichever it is showing, you can go ahead with it itself. Okay. Then
Yeah, which one should I download?
you need to go for with whichever is your version, x86 MSI installer we have.
Here,
Web community.
web
Either you
community.
can go with community or the later one, the community installer. So the next one as well.
Okay, but it says 32-bit, right? Is it correct?
It will, yeah, it will come for 32.
Okay.
So once it is downloaded, then you will have an exe file.
No, it is saying using
Just start
login.
my download. It says no thanks, just start my download. You can go ahead and unzip that. Okay, fine. So it's preparing to install.
So set up which type of server, client, full, custom.
So here you need to go for full.
Okay. Execute.
Yeah, execute. Any pop-up coming up? No, right? It's still installing. Okay, so it will take a little bit time. Anyone else who does not have MySQL on your system, I would like you to proceed with exactly the same step as Mohan sir is doing. So in your session as well, as we have these, softwares installed in our systems, you can ask any one of your student who does not have the software. Obviously, sometimes they do not have it, so you can pick any one of your student. If you're in an online session, even in the offline, you can, pick anyone, and then you can walk them through just like this. Okay.
Swati, for this particular software, MySQL, what are the prerequisites required?
It's not much, it needs .NET, which already comes with our Windows. And Yeah, and later when you will be working on your VS Code, so you also need VS Code, but that's not exactly a requirement here. But later when you want to integrate, then you might need an ID also. So either Eclipse or whichever you're working on, even VS Code works well. Even for your system, it's like your RAM should be around 4 GB.
Okay. So here authentication method option 1 and 2 is there. So we can go with first option.
You can use authentication here. You can choose, what kind of authentication you need. So
So root password, I can give my name.
so you choose here whatever password you want to give. Is it done?
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Now go to next. Yeah.
So add user is not
Don't
required.
do anything. Just go to next.
Okay.
Now
So
here
user
start itna, everything is fine. Go next.
next.
Grant full access. Yes. Go next. Here you need to agree and execute. Okay, let it happen, and then the execute button will come up, and then you can click on execute.
Finish.
Finish, yeah. Okay, next. Router configuration, it's asking for. So here, what you can do we have, acha, next is not enabled. Configure the router. Do not bootstrap it. Can you remove bootstrap? The first checkbox which is there. Now we have finished, right? Go to finish. Again, go to next. Now this is connect to server, and here you have the option to put in your password for the root. So you put in your password here. Check. Connection successful. Now go next. Now it will help, it will give finish. Go finish. Next. Now this shows installation complete, then finish. All right, so you have this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've configured the MySQL. Now to check whether it has installed properly, you can go ahead in the client, the CLI which opened up, the command line, you've got one command line opened up. Here you can write show databases, show space data bases and a colon, semicolon, semicolon. Is it a semicolon?
Okay.
Now enter. Mm, Unexpected identifier databases. Two databases. Can you go to your search in over there?
Sharing
Go to your
means
go to your search bar and just see whether is it opening this CLI command line client. Open command line client. MySQL command line, not CMD, not CMD. MySQL command line client. Acha, I'll
MySQL.
show you. Wait, let me show you. This MySQL command line. So here we provide the password, and when you enter into it, you can do your show databases. So it will give you show databases. So if its connection and everything is perfect, it will help you show that it's running fine. So after your installation is done, we do to this step to verify whether the installation was fine or not. So for this, you open MySQL command line client. Okay, you go to your search, write MySQL command line client. It will help you open this. So you will see that coming. It's not the shell we are opening, but the command line client. So you have command line client, and there it first asks for your password. So you give your password and then you move on, and then it will load it up, and then you provide the first command, which is show databases. So whichever are the databases currently. So now whatever current databases would be just the the setup databases which come, and they will appear. Can each one of you check?
Done, Swati.
Hanji, done. All right, great. So I'd like you to stop your screen sharing if that's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Now, the next thing you need to discuss about, creating your first database. I'm going to discuss the lab exercises, which are pretty simple, not much in it. Okay. So we'll go on and we'll start executing some queries. Okay. Now we've got two things here. One second. I'll just start sharing the screen again. So we have to showcase the things from two perspectives. You have to run the queries and you also need to show them the GUI basic. Okay. So how
Swati,
they
you're sharing
can
the screen?
come again?
You're sharing the screen?
Yes, yes, in just a moment. I'm opening my workbench.
Yeah.
So when you come to the workbench, so this is the GUI, that we have, the workbench. So you all can go to your, search bar, just write MySQL workbench over there. This will open up. Currently, you will see more of, connections that I have, but it is all different. You will see only one connection on your end, which is local instance
Correct.
with one user, whichever is a root user. You can
Correct.
open that up for now. Now here we are going to execute the commands and show it to the students. There are two ways to do it. Actually, there are three ways to do it. Whatever queries you write, you can either run it from a command line, which we've seen already, the command line client. You can either do it there, or you can either come on this particular platform, which is your workbench, and execute the queries here itself. Okay. So here itself, you can execute your queries. All right. And
Swati, can you elaborate the interface first?
yes, yes. Just a moment. I'll just stop this one. So MySQL Workbench is not much of a thing. It's only a tool, or it's a software which helps you to, it's kind of like a visual representation of what you will be handling from, the command line. You can even come over here and works on the graphics user interface. Okay. Now this particular, it's a graphic tool. So when we come over here, so I'll start with the basic things. Like the first thing that you need is to create a database. So once you are in, as you might have opened that connection of yours, so what you will be seeing is something like this on your end. Okay. On the right hand side, you see schemas. So we've already discussed about what are schemas, and all the schemas and databases and everything would appear on the, sorry, left hand side. All right, over this area that you have. All right. Then now, if you need to execute queries in your workbench here itself, and you do not want to go to the, CLC, which is your command line client, or in a CLI, then open one query tab. Just simple, this is the query tab. Okay, you can open the query tab from here. This is to create a database or a schema in the connected server itself, which I'll just talk in a bit. Okay, when I'll show you. So I'll be explaining you how to do GUI, GUI basics over here, as well as how to write queries. So just a little patience. So the first thing that comes is to create a database. That is, I think, your second lab after installation, that where you need to create a database. Okay. So I've already told you, you can open up your CLI and show them, and you can even come here. When you come here, it also gives you the ease of access. You do not have to, switch between two different, screens basically. So here, the first thing is, what is a database? So database, you discuss about what is a database, that it's it's a place where you, which helps you to store the collection of records in an organized form, right? It helps you to hold the data in the format of tables. There are rows, there are columns in it. You even can put indexes in it, to find the relevant information inside it frequently. So that is what your database is about. Now, how to implement a database? How to create a database? If you want to create a new database, how to do that? So the command to create a database is a create database command. Okay. So there is a command which is called as create database command. You give your name for the database, whatever is your name. All right. There is obviously two optional things here, or attributes here, parameters you could say. One is a character set name, and another is your collate, okay, or your collation name. When you talk about character set, it is optional. Why? And also your collation is also optional because it is the name of the character set, to store every character in the string that you'll be passing here. MySQL DB, it supports many character sets which are there. So if we do not provide that, so generally we do not, in this basic programming that you'll be doing in fundamentals, you might not be using character set and collation over there. So collation obviously comes with, characters only, that it compares the characters which you've provided in a character set. So here we are not going to put in that because you're just discussing fundamentals. All right. So that will not be even required here. The first thing, let's create a database. What I'll do, okay, so I've actually removed my previous database. I'll create a new database again, which is being discussed in the example basically that you will have to take, which is your employees DB. So to create a database through a query, this is something that you'll have to write, which is create database employees DB. Okay. Then to execute this command, simply you can either click on this, lightning bolt. So you've got create database employees DB. Now, if you'll come into the schema, you'll see a refresh button and you can refresh from here and your DB is here. Okay, there is nothing inside DB this. Particularly right now at this point, we do not have any table, no data inside it. We've just created the DB. All right. The next is that once you've done or created your DB, the next is command that you can execute is the show DB command. We've also seen show DB. Now, what does show DB do? It shows all the databases that are present in the current working server, which is whichever you are working on. So all the connected databases in the particular connected server will be displayed if you do show databases. Okay, so you'll see the now if your query has executed properly, you'll see that output query output here, the execution output, and the result output comes here. Okay, so all the databases which are there in this particular schema are present here. Okay, so that is your show databases command. So after executing, we can see all that created databases in the particular server that we are working on. Now, the thing is that we have created the database. We've seen that it is, present in the particular server as well. Now, when I want to work and create, tables and put data into it, what I'll be doing is I need to use this database. So the command to use this database is use and the name of the database. Use. This is your employees DB. Okay, because now whichever tables you'll be creating, whatever task you'll be doing, insertion commands and everything you'll be running, for that you need to tell it, that this is the database in which you want to create this table, that this is the database that the table is from and you want to insert data into it. And for that purpose, you have use command for it. Okay, understood this? Now, if you want to do the same task, but from a graphical, interface, then once you have the schema, you'll go to this. So what do? Is we create a new schema in the connected. Do you see this option of DB? This kind of box which is there. You click on this. Now you give the name to your schema. Okay, and leave everything as default. It is not required by us to change it. You can go ahead and apply. Yeah. So that will help you to create it. No, I did not create the employees database. I did run this, or execute this command just a minute before to have this.
No, actually, when I started as per your instructions, the first line is executed. Second line, which when I say show databases, it is giving me an error. It is throwing an error to me.
What kind of error is coming?
Let me show it to you. Error code 1007. Can't create database employee ST.
So I mean, like you're on your own local server, right now. So I have this on my end. Can't create any. Acha, just a moment. Let me see. Can you share your screen and show me? No, because it is already created now. So the next time you just need to put a comment for that or remove the first line, because once you've created the DB, why do you need to create it again? So you've not commented out. If you'll see my code now, I've been commenting the queries, that I've already executed. So put 2 hyphens. Put 2 hyphens.
Can you share your screen once?
hyphen, dash.
This one.
Space. Now it is a comment. So comments in SQL looks like this. Now you go ahead and execute show database. See, show databases has come up. So, the create command, there is one more thing where what we write is if not exists. So if not exists means even if there is not a, even if there is a database, then also it will help you to create a new DB, but you do not need that here right now. Okay, so that's why once you've done a create command, it is also for your tables, also for your insertion queries, deletion, alter. So once you're done with it, please, comment them out. Otherwise, if you need to run one particular command, you need to select the command, like show database, select it, and then you execute it from that execution bolt. Otherwise, it runs the entire set of statements which are written in your script.
Okay.
All right. So I'll be sharing the screen again. So suppose you want to just run one command, you can select the command and then you can execute. So then only one command will be. So whichever command you want to run, so we can select that. And once the work of that command, now this use employee DB is something that we need throughout our operations. So I'm not going to comment it. Okay. So this is not a one-time command. That is the thing. Use employee is not a one-time command. You'll need it entirely for all kind of operations here when you're working. Okay. So I'm not going to comment that out right now. So we have created the first database. We've seen how to create a database from a query as well as how to do it from a GUI. Okay. The next thing that you need is once you have a database, now you need to store data into it. How do we store data into it? With the help of tables. Now you have tables to work on. Okay. Now a table is used to organize data in the form of rows and columns and used for both storing and displaying records in a structured format. This is similar to the spreadsheets. Tables that we create over here, they are similar to spreadsheets, like Excels we work on. So by there also we have a column and a row and the data we store in the cells, right? Same thing here. A table has three things when we created. One is the name of the table, another is the name of the fields that we provide, and then the definition for each field. Definition means what kind of data it can have, how about the amount of data that it can store. That is the definition of it. Okay. Now to create a table, the command to create a table is again create table name. Then you provide columns, then the definition for each column. Okay. Now, for example, here only in this employee DB, I'll leave use DB as it is. Okay, that use employee DB. I'm not going to change that. Create table. The table that you have to create in your this lab is employee table. Then the columns is ID, int, not null. Okay, and auto increment. I'll explain each one of this one by one. ID हो गया, then you have name, varchar. This is a data type. Okay, you'll need to discuss all of this when you'll be doing the theory. What are kind of data types which are there in SQL? So different types of data types like integer, varchar, those. Okay. These constraints which are there like not null, auto increment, that is also needs to be discussed. 45 suppose. Not null means you cannot leave the field blank when you're inserting. So that is what not null means. Auto increment means it's going to increment by itself. So when you are going to insert data into it, so you are not concerned with ID. So you're not going to provide 1, 2, 3, 4. That is being taken care by this software itself. Okay. So database is going to manage that 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will not provide. That is why it is auto increment over there. Or then suppose occupation, varchar, can 40 and not null. So for any field that you're putting not null means when you'll be putting data against it, inserting data, you need to put a value, you need to give a value. If you leave a value, if you do not provide any value for that particular field, it will give you an error. Okay, it will not execute properly. Age, integer, not null again. Now the next is your primary key. What is a primary key? Anyone, what is a primary key? What is a primary key, anyone? See, I mean, like whatever you know about it can be,
Like unique value and not null.
all right. So primary key, there are different kinds of key constraints which are there, which you'll be seeing also later. So it is that helps you to uniquely identify, each record in a table. It helps you to identify each record. So based on that, you cannot have two records with the same value, for the particular primary key that you're making for. Okay, for any particular one field which is there. Okay, they must contain unique values. So it should have unique. Like here, I'm making a primary key for an ID. So an ID needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It cannot be 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. They cannot be, duplicated. That is the one thing. It cannot have any null value. So there needs to be a value for the field that you are making as a primary key. Okay, so it cannot be a null value. A table can have only one primary key. Okay, it can consist of single or multiple. So you can even have multiple columns for it. Okay, for a primary key, but it should be only, unique. So you cannot have it, duplicated in there. Okay. So that was your primary key. Not null, I hope you understand. Varchars and integers, these are different data types which are present, okay, in SQL that you need to discuss with the students. Auto increment means it's going to increment, by itself. So you do not need to provide a value for it. Employee table. Oh, this is round bracket. This is auto increment. All right. Okay. Now we can go ahead and in the same DB, I want to execute. So you will see that it has created a table already. So it says create table command is executed properly. Come here, refresh your schema, come to your tables and you'll see the table, employee table. Still right now, we do not have anything inside it. Okay. We do not have anything inside it, right? There is no data in it. How there is one more command which you should be able to see, which is called as show tables.
Swati, after execution, you have checked the schema, right?
Yes.
In
Here,
schema,
just come, you'll see the tables. In tables, you'll find that your table is there. Currently, there is nothing inside it.
no, I'm able to execute the things, but I'm not able to see anything schema.
So have you refreshed?
Oh, okay.
Refresh it. A little refresh it requires,
So where is the option of refresh?
This small, on the left hand side, just on
Okay,
schema
got it,
itself,
got
you'll
it,
see that.
got it,
Yeah, yeah.
got it.
Mhm.
Done, got it.
All right. Now we'll do show tables. So in employees DB, I have only employee table. So show table is a command which helps you to see, how many different tables are there in your particular database. If you want to see the table structure, you can even see the table structure. The command for it describe DESC into describe here. Describe. And then the name of your table. So the name of the table is employee table. See. So now when you describe it, that means it's going to give you now the format also, if you see that is coming, it's coming in the form of a table only. Field, type, null, key, default value, if any that you've provided, and any extra things, constraints. So fields are ID, name, occupation, age that we've given. The different data types assigned to them is int, varchar with the sizes as well. Null, no one is null, all are not null. Primary key is only one, which is ID, no default value. And extra, that means ID is auto increment. All right, so describe basically shows you the table structure. All right. Now we have seen describe and all this. Even, if you do not want to do it in from a, query way, you can go to tables and you will see a create table here itself. Give the table name. Default, this we do not need to work on any. Now here we provide, now here let's say default table, column name. What do you want in the column name? Okay. Suppose the first is ID. Is it a primary key? Not null. Obviously, it is going to be unique. Auto increment. Okay. Any default or expression value you want to give it, you can give. So we've got ID there. It's primary, not null, unique. All right.
Swati, if it throws an error, what we should do when I check for the show tables,
Hmm.
it is showing some error. Can I share my screen?
1 minute. 1 minute. Just let me show you this and I'll come. Now, when
Okay.
you select all of your columns, it will show you this command as well, that this is the create table which has been generated from your GUI as well. And if you want, you can go ahead and apply it and the table will be created there. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, we do not need this, so that's fine. Closing. Yes, Mohan, you can share your screen.
Yeah. So now at this 15th line,
हाँ जी, फिर से ना वो आपको वही दिक्कत दे रहा है कि आपने ना the create table command has not been commented by you. So once you've created the table, you please put it in comment. Okay. Create table command you've created. Anna, you've already created a table you have. So for the next time, it's going to give you an error. Put a comment for it. Select it all. Select the entire create table command. Put a comment around it. So control and forward slash. Press control and forward slash together. Now done. Now you go ahead and execute. You will see your show table working fine. All right.
okay. Next comment is what? Describe table. Huh?
Describe, yeah. So describe space and the name of your table. So the name of the table is employee table, right? Just excuse me for a moment, everyone. Done?
So it's employee underscore table.
This is the only table that you have, right? And put a semicolon also at the end of it. Syntax of your SQL involves that you put a semicolon to indicate the end of the line. Now you've got the table, right? That this is the employee table and this is what the structure of the table looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
The ID is primary key, right? Okay.
All right. Shall I take it back?
Yeah. And after this table, describe table, you just go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now moving on to talk about, different constraints which are there, which are the, key constraints, and that is part of your lab 8. Okay. So one moment. So I'm going lab by lab, okay, because that is important that you know the implementation of it. And the theory, I suppose if you are stuck anywhere, you can always reach out to me for that, okay? So the next lab that you have is after the discussion of your key constraints which are there, okay, you'll have a lab on it to work on, which is the lab 8, okay? There all the key important key constraints that needs to be discussed are to be taken in it according to it. So for example, the first key that you need to discuss is the unique key. Now, unique key in MySQL, it's a single field or a combination of fields that helps you to that ensures that all the values that are going to store in the column will be unique. Okay, they are unique, they are different from the next record. It means that a column cannot store it. A column wise value I'm talking about. The entire column, that means the vertical, data that I'm talking about. It cannot have any duplicate value in it. For example, there is a roll number of the student. Now, the roll number of the student has to be unique, right? You've not seen a roll number which is same for two students. The name of the two students could be same. I can have in my class two Swati Yadavs, but to distinguish between the two of them, the roll numbers are different, right? So that is what a unique constraint means. So it helps, now this MySQL, it helps us to use or allows us to use more than one column with unique constraints. So it can accept a null value also. Now here the difference comes in. Now you might be confused that there is a primary key and there is a unique key, both of them doing the same task. But when you have a unique key, you can have a null value. With a primary key, you cannot have a null value. Now here also, in each column, only one null value is permitted. No two fields or records can have, null values for this same column that has been declared as unique. Okay. So that is a difference which comes in. Now to create a unique, again, you need to create a table only, and there we provide, as in part of the constraints. Okay. For example, sorry. I have to create a table student two. Oh, why do I put this? It's parenthesis, okay? Student two. Here, let's put some student ID, okay? Int, not null. And you're putting it as unique. So here also you can give it as unique, okay? Or even at the end, you can use, constraint and then you can provide that. So both the ways work. Name, varchar, 45. Now, if you're not writing not null explicitly over here, that means it can have null values in it. Okay. Email varchar. Again, suppose 45. Age, integer, city, Varchar. Varchar means can have numbers and it can have, all different kinds of characters into it, like alphabet. Varsity 30, suppose. Okay. And let's close it up. So we have create student 2, unique. Let's run. We'll have student 2 created here. Okay. So if I go refresh, you'll see student 2 has loaded up here, right? All right. Now how to check whether this unique is working fine or not. Now to check that, now we need to check that as well, right? So for that we are going to insert some data into it to check for this unique constraint. Okay. Now for inserting data into your table, the command for it is insert command or insert into. Okay. So for that, we'll do insert into the table name is student2 brackets. Then you put all the columns for which you want to provide the data. Now here you'll notice that for student ID, I've not given auto increment. That means here I'll have to provide the ID. Okay. Student ID. Now you give your columns first for which the data needs to be inserted. Name, email, age, city. Okay, all the columns are there. Then values. Okay, insert values. Now here one by one, you can provide values for it, like first one, Swati. gmail.com. You need to enclose it in double quotes or single quotes. Okay, both of them work over here. Then you have email, age, suppose, and city. Close this. If you have more data, then again you put a comma. Okay. Here and to the rest of the things right now I'm keeping same, okay, but you can differ in that. The only thing that right now I'm seeing is the particular this ID that I've created as unique. Okay. Now insertion is typically this. Have we made any mistake? Teach. One Swati. Let's see this. It should. Okay. Here also it was missing. Okay. So we have written our insert command with different or unique ID values. Let's run it again. So we've got the insert command worked. Refresh. Okay. In student 2. Now I can show you this, okay, with how we can go with the first command, the in the drop down that you will see the first
Yes.
item which is
Swati,
shows,
can you
which is
share that
select.
code that from
Come
insert?
again.
Can you share that code in the chat?
This select.
No, from send from insert. Can you share in the
This no?
chat?
Yeah, yeah.
Because of yellow color, we are not able to check that. Okay.
Was it not visible? Is it visible
Yes.
now?
Yeah, we can see in the chat now.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right, so we've got the data inserted. As you can see, the data is inserted. It is all different kinds of data which is there. Now, suppose you insert another set of statements, okay? Again, into it, you want to insert again the same data, with the same IDs, like 1, 2, 3. You've already done it one time. Now you want to do it the second time, but the ID you've not changed, maybe by mistake. And if I again try to execute this, you'll see there is an error that has come up. Duplicate entry. It says duplicate entry for key. Okay, so abhi to it only stopped at this one itself. So once you'll resolve it, will come to 2 and 3 again. So that means you cannot have a duplicate value inserted if you've made any column, any field as unique. Okay, so that is how unique works.
Swati, can you repeat again?
I said that I tried to insert the same data that which I did, right? 1, 2, 3 for ID column. I tried to insert it again. It gave me an error over here. See the error code. It says that duplicate entry because your field was declared as unique, right? Unique means that the data cannot be duplicated. It has to be unique. And you're trying to give the same value again. So it will give or throw an error there. All right. So if you want to insert more data, make sure that if you have any column declared as unique and it can have only unique values, different values only, distinct values only. So you follow that. Otherwise, it will not take the data, it will throw an error. It will give you an error code there. You can, make multiple columns unique as well. Okay, for example, let's create
Swati,
one.
but when I executed, no, it was giving the no error was there, but no duplicates were also there.
Because it was the first time you did it, not the second time. So first time when I inserted it, it went fine. Look here
Correct.
in the output. First
Correct.
time it was fine, but the second time when I tried to insert the same data, with the duplicate entries, it threw an error,
Okay.
right? Now you can create unique key on multiple columns as well. All right. So you can create unique keys on multiple columns. Now to create unique keys on multiple columns means like create table student 3, sorry, student ID. Let's say I want it to be integer. Abhi here I'm not saying any not null or anything. I'll do it afterwards. Then you have roll number. Sorry, roll number integer. Then we can have name. Okay. 50. Want to put it as not null, put it as not null. Then you have email, varchar, then you have age, integer, then you have city. City, suppose. Now here, the another way I'm telling you to create constraint is to write the constraint keyword. Okay. And then you give the constraint name. So whatever is a name for this, if you are not giving it, at this point where we do, directly, we are not giving a name, but, it actually gets done, by itself. Though by default it takes and, it gives a name by default. But here you can specify a name for your constraint as well. Suppose I say unique, I'm providing it on roll number and suppose email. Okay. And you're making it unique. On which entries? Now here you need to provide the name of the fields, in which fields you're making this unique constraint. So roll number and email, the name of the fields which are there. All right. So let's do this. It has created a table. Refresh. It will show student 3. Because student 3 has been created. Now you can go ahead and try and insert data into it. Okay. Or you can, the next thing to see how many constraints are there, you can even check it from indexes. Okay. So you can go and do show index from the table name, which is your student. This I'll put it as index. That's great. See, so in student 3, I've got on 2 fields. The constraint is on 2 fields. They are unique and the name of the key is role email that you've done. Okay. So this you can check from the indexes that whether it has, happened or not, whether you were able to create a constraint or not. You can check it from the index itself. Okay. Now you can even drop, if you want to drop the key constraint, then we use the alter command for that. Okay. So suppose you want to drop this particular constraint that you've created. Okay. For that, we use the alter command. Okay, we have alter table, table name. The table is your student. Student 3, right? And this is your drop index and your index name. So the index name that you've given is this. You see role email. So you are saying ki my task is done, I no longer require this. So you can drop this again. Okay. So see, it has executed. Okay. It has executed. So again, let's put it and let's run the show index. So it will not show any. No, because we have dropped the constraint that we've created. Okay. Understood this? Understood? Anything that you've not understood? Now, when you talk about primary key, you've already seen primary key. Again, a primary key can be applied to a single. Primary key can be applied to a single or a combination of fields, which is used to identify each record in a table uniquely. So if the column it contains primary key constraint, then it cannot be null. Okay. That means in your unique, it can be null. One value can be null in your column, but in primary key, it cannot be null. Okay. So a table may have duplicate columns, but it can contain only one primary key. So you can have only one primary key in your entire table. Okay, it's not like that you can now for unique, you can put, as many columns unique if you want, even the combinations. Now here if you setting a primary key, a table can have only one primary key. Okay. So it could be either a single field or a combination of fields. Combination means then it works in combinations only. Okay. It's not like, individual. So you'll have to have the combination also different. Okay. Whenever we insert a new row into the table, the primary key column can also use the auto increment attribute over there to generate a sequential number, for that row automatically. So MySQL, it creates an index. named primary after defining a primary key into the table. Since it has an associated index to it, you can say that the primary key makes a query performance fast. Okay. Few rules for creating a primary key is that the column value must be unique. Each table can contain only one primary key. Primary key column cannot be null or empty. It does not allow us to insert a new row with the existing primary key. And it is recommended to use integer or big integer data type for when you are making a primary key column. That's a recommended or a suggestion, okay? You can create primary key in two ways. Either on the existing table, you can go ahead and use an alter table command, or when you are creating a new table, there itself you do the primary key. We've already seen a primary key, if you remember, right? If not, then let's try and do it again. Any confusion so far in this?
Swati, I think when I'm executing it, unique when we use unique, constant ke paas,
Yeah.
there I'm getting some expectation position, expecting check. Constant.
What was it again?
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute. So it's here unique. You're able to see the screen?
Yes.
So it says that some error is there in unique, which is saying that unique is not valid at this position. Check the
Oh,
mark.
after line number 38, you've not put any comma or something.
Okay, comma. Okay, yeah, correct.
All
Mistake.
right.
Thank you.
Acha. So we were talking about primary key. Let's create a primary key. Create table. Suppose let's say create a login table. Just give me a minute. I'm just taking a minute break, okay? Just a minute. Acha, okay. So let's do create table and let's create a login table over here. Login. Create table login and let's move and put maybe a login ID here. All the examples that I'm taking are the examples already provided in your lab manuals. Okay. Uh, auto increment and it should be auto increment and we are creating the primary key. So here goes the primary key. Then the next is username that you need. Let's put it as varchar 40. Then is your password. Again, varchar, let's say 55 and email. Varchar. Okay, so this is a login table where we've put a primary key on the ID itself, as we've told that it's advisable to use primary key on int or big int, types. So that is why we are using it over here. Let's go ahead and run this. We'll see the table come up over here in just a bit when we'll refresh and the table is already created. Now we can go ahead and try inserting data. So again, the same thing, basically not much of a difference that will come in. Create table, login. Then we have login ID, int, auto, increment. Why am I doing login create? I'll have to do insert command. So sorry, insert in ID, username, password, email, and then let's put values. So when you have to put values, this is a keyword that you'll be using, the values one. Upper line has all of your columns. You can even write it all in one line, not a problem, okay? One, Swati. Then you have username. One is login ID, then is your username, then is your password. So password could be any, values that you want to provide. Then is gmail.com. Okay, let's do. So here let's do for 2 and let's insert it. So we've inserted the data again for 2 times. Now, if the next time, I try to insert again, this is the same thing that we've done for unique and you can check it here as well. It will give me an error because again, you are, violating the thing which says that it has to be unique, even over here. So that's the same thing working over here. And the same kind of commands will come over here also if you want to alter something into it. Even, you want to add something, you want to change something, so you'll be using the alter command. Even if you want to drop the primary key, then you'll be using the alter command key here itself, just in the same manner as we've done it for unique constraint. Okay. So like alter table login. All right. And you need to drop the primary key. So whatever primary key you have, you can drop the primary key. So it should also help drop it. Acha, we do not have let's check what are the indexes first. And so we have the key name is primary itself. So when we'll be doing alter table, so This is just prime. Check the manual. Where the problem is coming, alter table login. Raw primary. The name is coming as primary itself. So one we can see again is, let's try. Otherwise, I'll check and I'll drop it down again. Alter table login drop. Let's try with constraint. Primary. Again, it is coming as primary. Is it not expecting an identifier? Otherwise, it is only the name that I see is primary, which is there. Key name, primary. Okay, I'll check this one and I'll let you know on this. The why the problem is coming over here. Otherwise, it's only the name of it and the name is given over there. Then the next kind of key that we can discuss over here is a foreign key. Now, foreign key is basically it helps you to make it possible to create a parent-child relationship, with the tables. So in this kind of relationship, the parent table holds the initial column values and the column values of the child table, it references the parent column values. All right. So if you have to create a foreign key, then also we are going to use it on, some tables only. For example, I have a table. Let's create a table, create table, customer, ID, int, not, null, auto, increment, name, varchar, 50, and not null, density, varchar, 50 again, not null, and then primary key. So now here the primary key that you want to create is you want to create it on an ID. Okay. So again, primary key that you are creating, I am creating it on ID. Okay. So either what you can do is you can create a new database, suppose, or you can even work on the same database, not a problem. Let's just see. Create table. So we've got the table created for this with ID as a primary key. Then the next is you are working with foreign keys. When you work with foreign keys, that means you are talking about relationships that exist between the tables. That relationships are being shown through with the help of these foreign keys. These are used to prevent actions that would destroy any possible links between tables. Now, foreign key is a field or it's a collection of fields in a table that refers to the primary key in another table. The table that has a foreign key is called the child table. The one that has a foreign key, that's called a child table. Table with the primary key is called the parent table. Okay. So that is the kind of relation which exists. Now I have this one table which I've created, which is called customer table. The other table that I want to create is called the contact table. Now there has to be some relation that I want to show between these two tables only with the help of foreign key and primary key. Okay, a minute. Still on. Now I'll just be taking up the code for this. Suppose I have the table again, which is called the contact table. Okay. Now here in the contact table, you will see there is an ID. There is a customer ID. Then there is customer info, which is there. Then type, then index, which has been created. I'm going to explain each one of these things one by one. And then we are creating the foreign key constraint over there. Okay.
Swati, for customer, what are the parameters you have taken?
ID, name, city. ID, name, and city. And then a primary key on the ID. Not much. Okay. And then there is a contact table, which you are going to link with the customer table. Now, here are a few things which are there. Okay. Like the first, if you notice from line number 78 to 81, constraint, foreign key, references, on delete, on update. Constraint means there you provide the constraint name. And now what is the name of this constraint? So if this is a foreign key, any name, like here FK customer is the constraint name that we've given. Okay. If we do not provide the constraint name, that the constraint name will be developed or will be given by the MySQL automatically. So if you want your own constraint names, you can define a constraint name here. Then foreign key keyword is used. Then you provide the parent table. Okay. What is the parent table? You give that parent table here. Okay.
Swati, I think your voice is not audible.
Hello. Am I audible?
You're
Yes.
Hello.
saying something.
Yes, yes. Was I not audible?
You're audible.
Audible, audible.
Is it
Audible.
audible for everyone? Jay
Hi,
or
yes,
Chandrika?
yes.
Yes.
All right. So then here constraint name, foreign key, then the name of the column, in this particular table, which is the child table. So which column you want to link with the parent table column?
For
So you
me, it
provide
is
that
not
name.
audible. Is it audible for everyone?
Yes, it's audible, Mameshwari.
Okay. But I can't hear your voice. Okay.
I think we can hear you, Uma, and
Chandrika Moganzara, I can't hear your voice. And what
Chandrika
about,
Mohan,
can
can
you
you put
hear
it down
Swati
in
ma'am
the
voice?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, it is audible properly.
Let me 1 second. Let me. Yes, yes, I'll reconnect. Okay, fine.
Okay. So then here we give the name of the column in the present child table that you want to link to the parent tables column. Then we put references as a keyword, which helps you to reference to the primary table, or the parent table, which is there. Then the table name and the column in that particular table that we provide. Okay. First, taking care of anything like customer ID. Okay, fine. Now on delete, which is there, the reference option on delete cascade, on update cascade, which is there, I've written, is to maintain the referential integrity basically. Okay, this references is for to maintain the referential integrity whenever we are using on delete and on update clause between the parent and the child table. Cascade, when you use cascade, it is used when we delete or update any row from the parent table. The values of the matching rows in the child table will also be updated or deleted accordingly. So that's why it is to maintain the referential integrity basically. Okay, I'll just be sharing Chandika in just sorry Mohan in just a while. All right. So on delete cascade, on update cascade is used to maintain the referential integrity. If there is any change in the parent table, that has to also be provided here. Okay. That's why we use this cascade option. All right. I'll just give you the code. I have created customers, so I'll be putting this particular line. Create table. Okay. So contact has also been created, as you can see. So if I go ahead and come over here, I'll do this and you'll see contact has also been created. Okay. So now there is a linking between these two tables. Okay. There is a linking between these two tables, which is customer and contact. So we are going to see how our databases or database structures look like when we use the queries like show table, describe customer, describe contact thing. Okay. So if I go ahead and I do here show tables, so it will show me all the tables which are present in this DB. Right. All the tables are there. Customer and contact is the one that we are mostly concerned about right now. Then if I want, I can do and see the structure of customer, right? See, so I have ID, name and city. ID is a primary key here. Now let's see, describe, contact. Okay, now here you'll see there is a key on customer ID. Okay, there is a key that has been created on customer ID, right? So in the output, if you've noticed, you can see there is a primary key in the customer table. And then there is the next key column of the contact value, which tells us customer ID is also a key which can store multiple rows with the, basically it's also a key, foreign key value. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and store data into each of the table and see how the data is being stored and then what is the relationship between them. We can do insert into customer, then name, city, values, suppose Swati and close, come next. We want, and Okay, so I've just taken two. You can even have more. And let's insert. Data would have been inserted now with this. After insertion, you can run a select command as well. So select asterisk, from select is to select, or to read from your data, right? So select asterisk from what is the name of the field that is your, oh sorry, table, which is your customer. Okay. So you'll see Swati and Arya, Lucknow, Aligarh being with IDs 1 and 2, which are auto-generated IDs. All right. Then the next is if you want to insert into the next table, which is the contact table now. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll do the thing for the contact table. Insert into, then contact. The name is your customer ID, customer info, and one is your type. Is capital and type, and then values, and then one values you can start providing like 1 comma. What is the email? The customer ID, it's getting picked up from the previous table, which is a customer table. So it's going to link, the ID which is there in the customer table to the customer ID here. So customer ID 1, you put some, email address, for example. The type is email, right? That you're providing. Close. Then again, for the first customer itself, let's say I want to give number. Okay, it's number. So whatever number you provide, home phone. Okay, just simple things, not much. And the same you can do for the others as well. Okay, like again, copy this, the comma, come down, colon. So now here, this is for the second customer which is there. Okay, let's run this. So it has also been inserted. Now again, what you can do just to see how the data is inside it, how the data is inside it. So if you want to check what it shows. All right, a minute. Let's again do the select command, but now on contact. Okay. So now you'll see for customer ID 1, we have two things for type, email and home phone. Again, for second also email and home phone is coming over there. Now let's see how this MySQL preserves data integrity. Okay. How it preserves the data integrity. I told you that we use on delete and on update, and I'm using over there is cascade, right? It means if you delete any customer record from the customer table, then the related records in the contact table should also be deleted. On any update that you make in your customer table, the update will be reflected over here as well. Okay, for the particular record. All right. Suppose I am going ahead and deleting something. Okay. I go ahead and I do delete from customer where name equals to, I did insert Swati, right? So where name equals to Swati. Okay, so I'm deleting those records where the name is Swati, not much. So I'm using where, right? You're using array papa without. You try to update without aware that uses a key to disable save. Editor. Spina. Okay, I'm working in a safe environment. I'll just disable that. Workbench preferences. Do you see preference? Just give me a moment. I need to disable one thing. Okay, and edit preferences, then editor. Saying me to do what? Disable toggle the option in preferences, SQL editor. Preferences and SQL. And this is done. Confirm data changes, preserve it now. Object, administrator, and appearance. Let's see if I'm able to do now. Again, it's giving me that. All right, so I've been doing that preferences one because in SQL editor default SQL case sensitive. Then SQL say snapshot, create it now, auto save, Sigma, timeout, workbench, editors, query editors. So the on default is connection limit rows, confirm data changes. What is safe mode update? Safe mode update. Stop. In SQL editor, where are we seeing safe update? Safe update. Okay, yeah. Okay. Take care. Let's refresh. Stop this. Just give me 5 more minutes and we'll end the session then. Okay. It's only one last thing left for this. And we need to connect for HTML, CSS as well. I'm just restarting the server after doing that safe update thing. Checking it again. ठीक है, all right. So please check on your end as well. If you have safe update or working on, then you can disable that. Otherwise, your delete alter commands will not work well. Okay. So now when I've removed that safe update after going to edit, if you have safe updates, go to edit preferences. Okay, in your preferences, go to SQL editor, scroll down, and here you will see this safe updates, which rejects updates and deletes sometimes. So you can uncheck that and click on OK. Once you click on OK, you need to reconnect to the server so you can restart your workbench again. Okay. And then when you'll try to do the delete command, it will work. Now, once I have deleted this, okay, once it has been deleted, you've deleted, we can look at our tables again. Okay, so if it is done, I'm putting it here. Let's look at our tables. Select customer. So you'll see that one record is gone, for Swati, it has gone. Now let's check in contact if there is any change that has come in the, contact as well. So let's run that. And you'll see that the records which were linked to the ID one, they are also deleted from here. So that is what cascade means. Okay. Any changes which are made over there, they will be reflected over here as well. Okay. So the few kinds of, the keys that you need to discuss are unique key, primary key, and foreign key. Then there is one more, which is called the composite key. Okay, I'll discuss composite key later, but as part of your homework activity, I'll be giving you a homework to perform CRUD operations. To perform CRUD operations, you need the lab manual that you'll be working on is the lab 9 CRUD operation. If you want, I can show that in the repository. If the repository is already shared with you, I hope you have that with you. Should I share the lab here if you need it?
I think we already shared in the group, Swati. So everything is over there.
Sure. I mean, like I'm still asking them if they need. Okay. So if they need that, so I can share that the lab manual here. If not, then you can directly see it from the repository then. All right. We still have to cover the HTML, CSS part as we see that we have little time on our hand. I'll just check from my own schedule that what is the other time each one of you is available today? Mohan, Jay, Vignesh.
So Swati, actually I have a session at evening, 6 to 7:30. So in between you can have, like, you can arrange any session.
Sure, I also have a session. Can we connect back in an hour? Sorry, in half an hour if that works for you. Because then I'll be engaged from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Does this work for everyone?
I think that Vignesh, they are in the different call.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Both of them are in the different call. So we can just put a message in the group so they can reply.
Otherwise, tomorrow early morning, 9 o'clock, we can start.
Tomorrow again, you have the sessions, right? From 10 to 1, and Python is also remaining, which will be taken at 2 to 3 p.m. So Python training, which will be taken by Ramar. That is tomorrow, which is on 17th, 11, 23, and the timing for the same is 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. All right. So I don't mind taking a session at 3 also. If you guys are available at 3, I can try and adjust my schedule. If you're available at 3, we can connect in 3. Hardly, we'll do HTML CSS, which should take about, an hour, and we'll complete that. And tomorrow, obviously, I'll be connecting for JavaScript. Okay, because that is also vast to be covered. So for that, I'll give you a time slot tomorrow early morning itself. Okay. So though we are connecting, Uma, how much time would you require tomorrow to cover your cloud?
Cloud, I think 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour.
So I suppose from 10 to 1 only we can do then JS also in that, right?
Yes, Swati. We can complete.
Okay. So today let's try and complete HTML, CSS. Now one lab which is left in your this database is that one, which is the CRUD operations. So once I'll be done with HTML, CSS, and if I'll have time, I'll walk you through that as well. Otherwise, I want you guys to, practice that on your own because it, takes in almost everything that we've done so far. Okay. So each and every command will be used over there, whether it is alter command, drop command, it is a CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete. All right. So let's connect back at 3 then. Okay. If not 2, 3 works then for everyone. Vignesh, Jay, Chandaka. If not 2, let's take a break, Hana, lunch break, or 2:30, whichever time you tell me, I'll be available.
Yes, we can connect at any time.
Yes, we can connect.
At what time? 3?
Yes.
Yes, that is
Okay.
fine.
So let's reconnect on the same call at 3 p.m. Okay. Shwali, take care. Thank you. Please take a break
Yeah,
now.
thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.